Hi everyone. Today we are going to study about forests and its uses. The word forest had often scared you when you were a kid. The word suggests a dark place covered with lots of huge trees, lots of small and big wild animals, and all kinds of weird sounds. But believe it, forests are nothing to be scared of. The forest is a complex ecosystem consisting mainly of trees that offer the earth with many kinds of life forms. Forests are useful to us in many ways. We should stop felling trees and conserve them. In this chapter, we study more about the structure of the forest and the uses and the animals and plants which they live in the forest and how it is useful to us. So, what is meant by a forest? A dense growth of trees, other types of plants, and underbrush covering a large area is called as forest. According to the height of plants and trees, the forest can be divided into three layers: canopy, crown, and understories. So, what is meant by canopy? The branches of the tall trees look like a roof cover over the other plants in the forest is called canopy. The branches of the tall trees look like a roof over the other plants in the forest is called canopy. So, the next layer is the crown of the tree. So, what is meant by crown? The branchy part of the tree above the stem is known as the crown of the tree. Now, the third one, understories. The understories means trees had crowns of different types and sizes. These had created different layers in forest called understories. So, due to different climatic conditions, there are variations in types of trees and other plants and types of animals form forest to forest. The forest floors generally seemed dark colored and covered with a layer of dead and decaying leaves. So now let's see how forests help us. The wide varieties of plants and animals are there in the forest. The forest provide them natural habitat. Therefore, forest is the dynamic living entity. That means full of life and vitality. Here, the larger number of herbivores means increased availability of food for a variety of carnivores. The wide variety of animals helps the forest to regenerate and grow. Decomposers help in maintaining the supply of nutrients to the growing plants in the forest. Therefore, the forest is a dynamic living entity, that means full of life. The next one, the forest provides us food, fodder for animals, plywood, fuel, wood, gums, resins, spices, bamboo, rubber, herbal medicines, etc. So they provide us with all useful things which are helpful in our daily life. The forests make the environment cool, help in to bring rain, control global warming, and play a significant role in nutrient cycle and water cycle to run. Forests make the environment cool, helping in to bring rain, control global warming, and to play a significant role in water cycle. Forests prevent soil erosion, control flood, and maintain soil fertility. Forests maintain the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, make the air pure, and prevent the pollution of the atmosphere. The forest act as natural absorber of rainwater and allow it to seep It helps maintain the water table by percolating water in the soil. Forest absorbs the noise and helps to reduce noise pollution. It maintains peaceful and pleasant environment. So you know that lot of use, otherwise a lot of things we get from the forest also. Now some there are varieties of plants in forests. So these trees are like sal, teak, simmal, sisam, neem, palas, fig, khair, amla, bamboo, etc. are found there. Besides these trees, there are trees, shrubs, herbs and grass also found in the forest. The trees are covered with the different types of creeper and climbers. So like that, there are many animals living in the forest. There are boar, bison, jackals, porcupine, elephants live in the deeper areas of the forest. Now, these are the various trees you can find in the forest. Now, animals dwelling in the forest directly or indirectly depend on plants of forest. They obtain nutrients and excrete excretory waste. Such waste provide nutrients to plants. The forest plants grow by using such nutrients. Certain animals help in pollination and seed dispersal for plants. So, germination, growth, and regeneration of plants on forest land take place. Thus, animals dwelling in the forest help it to regenerate and grow. How too many plants grow in the forest, children? Because in nature, trees produce enough seeds. The forest floor provides favorable conditions for them to germinate and develop into seedlings and saplings. Some grow up into trees. For all this, sufficient water is available from rain. The humus is constantly formed from the dead matter and nutrients also available there. So, what does meant by humus? The humus means the mushrooms and the microorganisms feed upon dead plants and the animal tissues and convert them into a dark colored substance called humus. So it is, in shorter way, we can say it is a dead and decayed plants and animals. So these microorganisms, they are called decomposers. Why they are called decomposers means they convert the dead plants and animals to humus, are known as decomposers. So the presence of the humus ensures that the nutrients of the dead plants and animals. So they help in the growth of the plant. Now, if you have seen the forest floor, they are full of leaves. Now, the uppermost layer of the forest canopy intercepted the flow of the raindrops and most of the water coming down through the branches and stems of the trees. From these leaves, it is dripping slowly over the branches of shrubs and herbs. So the force of raindrops decrease too much when they reach the soil. Mainly the dense canopy bear the starting force. So the raindrops are not hitting the forest floor. Now you can see the forest is maintaining the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. How do they maintain? There are large number of trees in the forest. During day, trees prepare food using atmospheric carbon dioxide by a process of photosynthesis and release oxygen in atmosphere. Animals use oxygen and release carbon dioxide in the process of respiration. The rate of photosynthesis is more than the rate of respiration. So, in forest, photosynthesis of plants and respiration of both plants and animals maintain the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. So, thus, they maintain the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the forest. These forests are help us the green lungs. So why do they call them? There are large number of trees in the forest. The green leaves take in carbon dioxide from atmosphere and prepare food through a process called photosynthesis. During daytime, oxygen is released due to photosynthesis. Oxygen is useful for all those organisms who respire aerobically. The lungs are useful for purification of blood. So that's the way the forest also useful for purification of air by making it oxygen rich. So they are called green lungs. So now let's see what is meant by food chain. So food chain means based on the food requirement, organisms are dependent on one another to form a chain called food chain. You know that in the forest many type of animals are living. Each animal is eating the other animal. The plants are autotrophs as they prepare their food through a process called photosynthesis. So here the plant prepares food. So they are called producers. The all animals, whether herbivores or carnivores, they depend on ultimately on plants for food. Organisms which feed on plants often get eaten by other organisms and so on. So here in this example, grass is eaten by insects, which in turn is taken by the frog. The frog is consumed by snakes. This is said to form a food chain. The snake is eaten by the eagle. So here one animal is eating other animal. The many food chains can be found in the forest. So all these food chains are linked. So this is called food web. So here in this picture you can see one animal is eaten by many other animals. So there are different food chains formed in the forest. So the combined food chains are called food web. Now, so we are getting so many things from the forest, and so it is very useful to us in many ways. But are we conserving these forests? No. So we are not conserving the forest. So we are destructing the forest. The excessive cutting of trees on forest land is called deforestation. So why we are cutting the forest? The clearing forest land for cultivation of agricultural crops, construction of houses, roads and dams, canals, industries, etc. So here we are cutting down the forest for many reasons. So for all this, the number of trees that are being cut is usually much more than a forest can grow naturally and finally lead to deforestation. So what are the adverse effects of deforestation? The amount of carbon dioxide in air will increase, resulting in the increase of Earth's temperature. The wild animals will not get food and shelter. The food chains break. Many animals become either extinct or endangered. The soil will not hold water, which will cause floods in some area, drought due to disturbance of rainfall. It will endanger our life and environment. So these are the effects of the deforestation. So what should we do, children? So we should conserve the forest. So if we are cutting one tree, we have to grow another tree. So What we have learned, children? We have learned what is meant by forest. The forest forms the different layers, that is canopy, the crown and the understory. So the different vegetation provide food and shelter for animals, birds and insects, and various uses of the forest. So the forest keeps on growing and changing and can regenerate. In the forest, there is interaction between soil, water, air, and living organisms. So the food chains are formed. So there are many food chains are there in the forest. So we have to conserve forest, and we should take care of growing plants. Thank you.